Hello beautiful people, how are you guys doing today? Today we're gonna be talking about debt, owing people money. Now, usually I do an overhead view where I go over my budget and whatnot, but today I feel like talking to you guys about the beginning, right? So debt to me is a problem. If you like these type of videos, go ahead and like and subscribe. Join the family. Come on in and grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab whatever you need, because we're gonna go over the numbers. Okay, so today I have my tea, and yes, this is I want to say 32-ounce mug. I don't know, but I love it. I have my matcha tea in here, guys. I got my popcorn. Yes, I do. I'm just gonna do a little short little story to talk about my debt. I hope y'all ready. Y'all ready for the tea? Get it? Okay, so my debt started when I was 16 years old. I wish I was lying, guys. I'm not. I promise you, it started when I was 16 years old. At 14 years old, I had a job. I was working, what is it, like 20 hours a week that you're allowed to work. So I was working 20 hours a week, working my part-time job at Burger King. I want to say by right after I turned 16 years old, I was, I think, either a sophomore or junior in high school. I don't know. I'm almost 30. By 16, I had a full-time job. I was working 40 hours a week, and I was in high school. Well, obviously, my money needs to go somewhere, and I did not have a bank account. So I asked my caseworker, because I was in foster care. I asked my caseworker to help me open up a bank account. Now, when you're in foster care back in the early 2000s, remember, I'm old. My caseworker had my birth certificate, my social security card, everything that I needed to start a bank account. So of course I have to go to her in order to get a bank account, right? So I tried to open up a bank account. So I went to a bank and I was told that I was rejected because, one, I had already bounced a check with them, and that I owed them almost $600. So because I owed them almost $600, one, I couldn't open an account because I owed them money. Two, I couldn't open an account because I had bounced checks. Mind you, I'm 16 years old. I don't know what is going on and what was happening. So eventually I was able to open a savings account with a local credit union, a local federal credit union, which was so much better than going to a major bank, which was like Wells Fargo. So at 16 years old, I'm working full time. I'm going to school. I also had my niece who I was trying to help take care of. And so with all of that, at 16, 17 years old, I kept it moving. I had my savings account. The moment my check hit the account, I withdrew it and I paid my bills that way. And yes, at 16 years old, I had bills. I had to provide my own food, and I had to do this, and it was a mess. And I can go over a whole story at a later time. Today is not the day. We talk about finances, right? So yes, at 16 years old, I had my own bills. I had my own car. I had to get to work, right? And so at the time I was 18 years old, I was told that my identity was not mine and that I was being flagged for fraud. Now, when I was being flagged for fraud, I find this funny now. It was not funny back then. I had to prove that my social security number belonged to me. Because my social security number was being used so much, my name was not on my credit report. So that's when I was being reported. You know, it was a local thing. It was a local bank. So they were reporting me to the authorities because at that time I did not have my social security card. I literally just applied I came in, I had my driver's license, and I applied. I did not have my social security card. I did not have my birth certificate. I didn't have any of that. So when I tried to open up the week of my graduation, high school graduation, I moved out. Again, getting an apartment approved was the worst thing ever, because by that time I had already owed almost $2,000 in bills, whether it was cable, whether it was I think one was like, for those in the Midwest, y'all know what I'm talking about. I had Cox Cable. I had 2 Cox Cable bills. I had DirecTV. I had bounced checks from several credit unions and banks. I had a rent-to-own rent-to-own furniture place. I don't know. I had all this debt, right? And so I had almost $2,000 worth of debt by the time I was 18. So trying to get an apartment with debt, trying to get even my utilities, setting up my utilities alone was the worst process ever at 18 years old. And I mean, I already had to go through loops and hoops just to move out. I had to write letters to the judge. I had to present budgets. I had to present my W-2s. I had to present all of these things to the judge just to prove that I could move out and pay my bills. So, come to find out, I can't even get an apartment, right? Like, you go through all of these things and I still can't get an apartment. So that was that. At 18 years old. By the time I was 18 years old, I was making over $20,000. I was, again, working full time, and I did not qualify for any state grants. I knew about scholarships, I knew about all of those things, but I felt like I didn't have the time. And if you think of scholarships as actual money, then you will make time for money, right? You will make time to try to get as much money as possible. That's why we work, right? That's why we work 40 plus hours a week to get money. So I didn't look at that. I just thought that scholarships was just taking too much time that I didn't have. I was working full time. I was trying to help my nieces. I was going to high school and I was petitioning to go to this school so I can go to school full part-time, so I can, it was a lot. I had a lot going on in my high school year. Let's just leave it like that. So afterwards, I went to a private college. Don't do this. I went to a private college in the Midwest that cost me around almost $30,000. And I received a couple of state grants, but other than that, I think it was like $1,500 for the whole year. Other than that, I had to take out loans. Making enough money that I thought I was doing really well. My pregnancy was high risk everything. My water my water sac punctured at 27 weeks. So at 27 weeks, and then I had her at a month and a half early at 34 weeks, I was in the hospital already for 2 weeks prior to me giving birth. So not only was I in the hospital, I was unemployed. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks prior to giving birth to my daughter, on top of her spending 2 months, yes, 2 months in the hospital. Okay, grab your popcorn, guys. Grab your popcorn. So, as I was saying, my daughter spent 2 months in the hospital. This required, because I did not have any underlying illness, this required a lot of testing. Like, who knew that cats' urination could affect a pregnancy? I didn't know. But there was test after test after test after test. There was, she was put on caffeine. She had heart issues, and we were giving her CPR all the time. She went home on a monitor, which then, of course, cost money. That was $1,500, let alone. And guys, I was unemployed. I was really struggling. And for those who think that the state Medicaid pays for everything, you are sadly mistaken. No, it is not. here in Texas, it pays for like 30 days or something like that. I don't know. In the Midwest, it's a lot better. I didn't have as many issues until I moved down here in the South, and things in healthcare got a lot more expensive. So, fast forward to my daughter being out of the NICU, back home. I moved to Colorado. Guys, I'm laughing because it's funny now because I can look back and see the struggles and the things that I've gone through. So I moved to Colorado. She had more issues because of the altitude. Every other day we had a doctor's appointment. It was expensive, and come to find out, it was just mostly an altitude issue that was causing her to flare from what she was dealing with in the NICU to like more severe. Like everything got worse compared to when she was in the NICU. During my time in Colorado, again, she was on a monitor. She was then put on oxygen, which again costs more money. By this time, my daughter had already racked up $500,000 in medical bills in the state that she was born, on top of Colorado. But thank God Colorado had so many resources for single mothers, for black mothers. They had programs specifically designed for black mothers, and it helped pay for majority of my expenses. It helped pay for refilling her oxygen tank. So I'm telling you all of this because this is what led to most of my debt. Student loans, my daughter's medical bill. The leftover bill that I was left over with was about $24,000 that I had to pay because of her medical bills. This does not include her car, that was left over from the NICU, and that was left over from Colorado. With all of these things, with me being constantly unemployed, there's a lot of things that I was not able to pay for. Therefore, there's things that are in collections that I have to take care of. Now, what I will say, this is a sensitive topic for me. This is a sensitive topic for most people. My active debts, with things that I constantly pay on a monthly basis, are my priority. Now, I am almost 30 years old. Thank God, right? I am blessed to see another day. 2020 has opened our eyes to our priorities, right? So I thank God for 2020 to be a flippin' hot mess. People's eyes to be able to get on track of their life and take their life back, take their finances back, start their business, expand their business, just the creative thinking that people have been able to do in 2020 has been a blessing. Now, I'm almost 30 years old, and I keep saying that because it's true. I'm almost 30 years old. Now, I know that my finances are, it's gonna take a lot of work. It's gonna take a lot of work. Now, because I'm as old as I am, I have a lot of undoing the things that I did, and it's gonna take a lot of doing to undo my damage. Let me repeat that because I didn't say that correctly. It's going to take a lot of undoing to undo the doing that I have done. It's going to take a lot of just discipline, structure, but it's going to take a lot of undoing to undo the things that I have done. And when I heard someone tell me that, I'm just like, yes, it absolutely is. It's going to take a lot. But now that you guys know the root problem and how all of this started, let's go ahead and I'm going to turn you back around, do an overhead shot, and we're going to talk about my finances. We're going to talk about what my plan is and how I'm going to tackle my debt. I've already done the budgets, I've already done this, and I've already done that, and a lot of things have opened my eyes using cash on my spending. It has opened my eyes, and I thank God for the community that I've joined and the people that comment. And Miss Megan, if you have not seen her channel, she stayed posting on people's comments. She stayed just like encouraging people. Her videos are so inspiring and so encouraging, and I've started surveys because of her, adding extra money into my pockets. She has been amazing help Ro, you too, girl. You too, girl. I love going on her videos and like acting a hot mess. If you have not seen those two where they're just, you know, putting out information and teaching you how to save for traveling, how to save for this, and I mean, the community is amazing, and I love that I have been able to join in on this budget community, this planning community, right? And it has been inspiring. So let's go ahead and go over these numbers real quick. Now that y'all got the deets and the information and the backstory, because there's always a backstory to everything, right? So let's go ahead and turn you guys around, and we're gonna go over our numbers. All right, you guys ready? Let's go over these numbers. This is not an exciting topic. This is not. Okay, so I'm going to eventually use these debt trackers to keep into my planner, but for now, I'm going to put it in a journal first. So I have these debt trackers that I got from Gold Mine and Cocoa. I also have debt trackers from Elaine Michelle here on YouTube, and I like these as well. Where are they? Because I like her whole budget spread, but these debt trackers, they get the job done. I like these, but I like these more because they have a quote on them that keep me motivated. So I am going through this financial 21-day challenge to get my finances in order. So I wrote a letter to myself. I will eventually read this when I am finished with paying off my consumer debt. But what I'm going to consider consumer debt is things that are active, that I have to pay every single month. So anything that I owe that I have to pay every single month, I'm going to pay that. Collections, I don't owe every single month. I owe a one-time balance or a payment plan or something. Whether it's this year, 5 years from now, like I owe y'all, I get it. So I do have a couple of things, like I said, in collections. This is the judgment-free zone. Do not judge me. I am a single mom. I don't have and that's another thing. I don't have a second income. I don't have no mans, no husbands, okay? There is no another person in my household that can help me with this. So there's different types of single parents, okay? I'm the single parents that don't get weekends off. No holidays, no nothing, okay? So don't judge me. This is a judgment-free zone. It is me. It is my one job and whatever additional income I can come up with, okay? So now that we got that out the way, let's talk about my consumer debt. So what I went ahead and did is I picked this journal up from IKEA. It was 50 cents. So all it is blank pieces of paper and one line/grid paper. Okay, so this was 50 cents at IKEA. I put some Gold Mine and Cocoa dolls that I got from her warehouse sale. Now my consumer debt. These are things that I have to pay every single month. Emergency fund. I put that in there because to me it is something that I owe. It's a mental thing. Consumer debt because it's something that I owe myself. I owe myself my emergency fund. So that's why I put that in there in case somebody asks. It is what it is. But this is completely paid off and in my account. Let's do green because, you know, we like monies. So this was paid $7.15. This is not a good marker. Anyway, this is done. It is in my checking account. $7.15. Okay, we got that out the way. So my emergency fund is done. Now that my emergency fund is done and completely paid off, now I have to pay my debts. Now I do like the whole Dave Ramsey because it makes you feel accomplished, right? But I also like the Avalanche because to me that makes sense too. So both of them make sense. Now when it comes to my Wayfair account, which is you know, where I got my furniture from, you know, whatever, you know, Wayfair is Wayfair, whatever. We're not gonna get into that because I can't do scandal companies 2020. I just can't do it anymore. I'm going to get rid of my Wayfair first. So my Wayfair has the highest interest rate. It also has the highest payment per month. So my Wayfair payment is, so per month I pay $179.87 per month. Now this is a lot. This could go to pay off these other credit cards. That could go towards, you know, that's a huge minimum payment per month. So my thinking is I'm going to pay off Wayfair first. My estimated payment date to pay it off is going to be August 15th. Now, I messed around with my numbers. I did a little, you know, maneuvering and trying to change things. If I stick to my budget, strictly stick to my budget, I will be able to pay it off August 15th, which is in less than 30 days. I'll have $1,000 to pay that off. And I'm on set to be able to do that. But also I will have leftover money to pay off my Discover card, which is, Discover's minimum payment is $20. So that's $199 I could have after August. I could have almost $200 in minimum payments done, right? Okay, so then I have Capital One of a balance of $214. That's going to be paid off the check after that, my last check. Navy Federal Credit Union is $999. Now, I think these are going to change because I paid off some things. And if this number is still the same and I'm not sure if it is, I might have to update that. I don't know where my whiteout is, so I'm just gonna use a sticky note. Let me set these aside really quick. Okay, if this number is still the same, I'll be able to pay that off by October. Now, and that's only because I'm able to use this money of $200 to be able to pay off the Capital One, to be able to pay off this balance a lot more on top of the minimum payments. So my Capital One minimum payment is also $20. Every single month since the whole 2020 disaster has been $20. My Navy Federal Credit Union is also $20. I don't know why, but ever since the whole 2020 thing, it's $20. So that's what we're going with. Now my line of credit loan is a secure loan. One thing that I love about Navy Federal Credit Union, it is a no credit check for a secure loan. You put the money in your savings account and they give you the money as a loan, right? It helps you build your credit. It helps you do all of these things. It's great. So I decided to open one for $2,500. But the amazing thing about Navy Federal Credit Union, when you make a payment, let's say I can make $1,000 payment today to get this balance down. They're gonna release $1,000 or a little less than $1,000. Let's say because of interest, right? So they might release $995 of my money that is locked in my savings account. They'll release it to me, so I'll have that money available. So this is going to be the last thing that I pay off. One, because it's the biggest amount. Two, because it's really helping me build my credit. But three, I know I'm going to get that money back. If I make a $2,100 payment today, I'm going to get $2,100 back in my account 3 days later. And from my understanding, Navy Federal Credit Union is the only one that does that. So if I sign a loan for 1 year, you might have, even if you paid it off early, you might have to wait 1 year to get that money back. But Navy Federal Credit Union will release it on the 3rd business day. And so I love that about Navy Federal. I made a double payment on accident, so this bill is not due until November. So I don't have to pay that until November, so I'm just gonna leave that alone every single month. And I'm gonna revise my budget because I was paying $72 for this per month, but I'm gonna revise my budget to be able to calculate that in and be able to use that $72 go towards my debt. So let me go ahead and put that line of credit. The minimum payment is $72, but again, it's not due until 11/20/2020. Okay. We on the same page? We on the same page. Okay, so let me go ahead and update these numbers. So this is $993.87. And last one, Discover. Something just hit my Discover account, so I'm going to have to dispute that. So if I take the balance that just hit my account, which I have no idea what this charge is for, it is $21.60. If I take that off, I will owe $154.14 once I get that charge disputed, because I don't know what that thing is, and it looks like it's in a different it looks gibberish. I don't know if it's not even a real company, y'all. But I had some fraud on my Amazon account too, and they charged me, whoever it was signed up for my Amazon account again, and so I need to call them and get that disputed as well, because it just hit my checking account for $14 for a monthly payment. So I don't know. Anyways, so let me make sure that this line of credit is the same. I believe it is. So now that I have at least $72, I can roll over to pay for my Wayfair. I can use these are my minimum payments, so I can use those as my rolling over, my snowball. I'm like, now let's go over, these are what I have to pay every single month. Let's go over the things that I don't have to pay for every single month. Okay, I'm gonna go through this quickly because I actually have a meeting in about 11 minutes, so let's go over this quickly. I have a couple of things in collections. Again, judgment-free zone. Don't judge me. This is what it is. I'm just gonna put collection number 1 is gonna be $874. Oops. Clearly I cannot write. Collection. Ooh, guys, forgive me. Collection number 2. I'm gonna fix this later. $657. Collection number 3 is going to be $627. And collection number 4, most of this, again, this is my child. I don't think kids just don't understand. $263. Now I'm gonna try to pay, this is just an example. So for collections, you can, a lot of them like you to pay 50%. I'm not doing that. You gonna settle with me or you're not gonna get nothing, right? Like that's the mentality that I have at this point. So 60% will be $349.60 for this one. 60% of this one is gonna be $262. I'm gonna fix this, guys. This is a mess, but I'm gonna make it nice and fancy. $262.80. This is going to be $250.80. And this last one is going to be $105. $105.20. I really have a work meeting to go to, I promise. I apologize, but hopefully you guys can see this. These are the 60% numbers, so once I make this all nice and fancy and put this on a piece of paper that is supposed to be in, then I will show you guys to update it. But these are my 60%. So if I only pay the if I get 60% off, this is the number that I'm with: $349, $262, $250.80, and then $105.20. So if I pay them only 40% of what the debt is worth, then hey, y'all get your money and I get paid in full, right? So these are going to be my collection. Now let's talk about student loans. Judgment free, guys, judgment free. Guys, by the time I finished my second year of school, because I transferred down here in Texas, they make you take history courses and Texas history and this, and the requirements are different. So that's why it took me an additional year to be able to catch up on the requirements, the core requirements that Texas has versus where I was at. What I had was the core classes for the place that I was at. So because I transferred schools, a lot of credits are just sitting there. They're not being used. A ton of my credits are just sitting there, not being used. So right now, my student loan balance without interest. Y'all ready? I'm not. Y'all ready? Oh my God. $52,081 without interest. By the time I transferred in, I already had over $40,000 because I went to a private school. I spent 2 years at a private school. That's what happens. Don't go to a private school. Your dream school is one that you can afford. Your dream school is one that you can afford. Your dream school is one that you can afford. I know that I had to put this on paper to make it real. You cannot pay off debt. You cannot be successful unless you have a plan. My plan is to write this down, to tackle this budget, to put it on paper, hold myself accountable, have a structured budget, be consistent. But my schooling moving forward is one that I can afford. My bachelor's degree would be completed at a school that's over an hour away. Why? Because it's the cheapest. It's the cheapest in my area. A school that I can afford, not based off of convenience. I have a school that is literally a college that is literally 7 minutes away from my house, my apartment. But I am not going to that school. Why? Because it costs over $40,000. The school that I can afford is my next school. Will I be able to tackle this student loan debt? No. I will not be able to tackle this student loan debt until I get the job that I need, the job that I want, and I cannot get there without my degree. So moving forward, the plan is pay this off, and use that money towards my college. If I can't get a grant, if I can't get a scholarship, if I can't get anything, then it's up to me to make that money. It's up to me to be able to invest in my college moving forward. This number, I will not take out another student loan. I'm not doing it. I'm not taking out another student loan. It is up to me to make that money to be able to do that. Now, if I decide to go get my doctorate degree, that might be a different story, y'all. Like, that might be that, but that's far down the line. For now, my bachelor's degree is the one that I can afford, and I can't afford to add on to this no more. I cannot do it. So, increase revenue. If you're a single mom like me and you are barely making it, you are penny pinching every single check, increase your revenue. That's the only thing that you can do. Sometimes I take my daughter, let me not snitch on myself, but sometimes my daughter's with me when she's not supposed to be, and that's just what I have to do. So this is where I am at financially. This is the debt from the beginning and now to where I'm at. In a year from now, I'm going to look at this and it's going to be gone. Maybe not this. I got to finish my degree and make more money in order to get rid of this. But for the most part, all of this will be gone. I'm giving myself, it's July. It's July 2020. Let me put it down, make it official, right? July 2020, I'm giving myself until March. Let me put seven. Today is the 23rd. I don't know if y'all can see that. Today's the 23rd. 7/23/2020. So this will be paid off the end of the year. I will then use this money towards this. And the reason why I'm giving myself a couple months because in February, whatever I have, like all of these minimum payments and the money that I'm going to be saving, I need to move. So my goal is, my plan, just so y'all know really quick, my plan is to not only pay this off by December of 2020 this year, right? This is only a couple of $1,000s, maybe $4,000 or less. Yeah, I really am late for this meeting, so I'm about to go. I can pay this off this year. I know I can do it if I stick to my guts. So whatever money I'm saving here and whatever money that I need to pay here, this is less than $1,000. And I know I can knock that out in 2 months, right? But I know I need to move. So the plan is pay off this debt by this year, save my money, move into a smaller, cheaper, affordable apartment. Guys, I have every intention to move down to a studio apartment with me and my daughter. I don't care. We roughing and buffing it so I can get through my college and pay for my expenses. I pay almost $1,000 for rent for a 1-bedroom apartment, and yes, I live in a major city. I don't care no more. I'm moving into a studio apartment. We about to be roughing and buffing it and kicking it, okay? She mad, she gonna have to pout on the other side of the room. I don't care. I need that extra money to pay off this, to pay this off, and to pay for the rest of my remainder of college. I don't care. It's gonna be a struggle. It's gonna be but I gotta save every little penny. I have to do what I have to do. I don't care about having a nice apartment, a nice car, a nice this, a nice that. I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore because at this point, I cannot live how I was living. I have a problem. Debt is a problem. In order for you to solve a problem, you have to do what? Fix it. You have to create a plan. You have to create a strict budget. You have to be able to save. You have to be able to pay towards your debt. You have to be able to not spend as much. You have to know where every penny is going. Money, they say money talk, money be walking. Okay, money walk away. The little pennies and the little dollars, they just disappear out of my account. I can't do that no more. We roughing and buffing it. We about to live check to I'm not living check to check no more. I gotta pay this off. So that's my plan. I'm sorry I had to rush through this, guys, but I have to go. I have to go to this meeting. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.